you're here. Thank you for joining me for the one-page equestrian goal progress roadmap. In our time together here, I'm going to help you to gain clarity, overcome your obstacles, develop an actionable plan to live your passion. And we're going to do it all on one page. So at the end of this time together, you're going to have on one worksheet a plan to accomplish your goals with your horses. I promise it's going to be worth your time. So I want to share with you really quickly, so you're just not taking it from me, a couple of quotes that people sent to us. We used this worksheet a while back for a challenge on our Facebook group, and people had amazing results from all over the world. So that's part of the reason that we're sharing this here with you guys today, because we want to help as many people as possible. So I wanted to share a couple quotes so you wouldn't just be taking it from me. I want to encourage you to follow through and do this. It's going to be worth it. So Crystal said, "Wow, what has been covered so far has reignited my passion. I now understand that my recent lack of direction was creating frustration and stealing my motivation. I now have clarity and focus, and I'm able to form a plan. I've already begun taking action." Shelby said, "I finished." Jen and Kristen, thank you for taking the time with us for the 5-day challenge. When I received my planner, I was blown away with the time and energy that was put into it, but the love pours off the pages. I'm excited to finally find and get my why back with my horses. Thank you. Jackie said, "Such a great kickoff to 2018. So we believe you don't need a new year to start any new goals. You need a new decision. You just need to decide to make some changes. So let's get started. If we've never met before, I'm Jen Rowland. I'm this girl over here. And this is my awesome, amazing business partner, Kristen DeLibrio. We are the co-creators of Horses U Riding Academy. We help equestrian women just like you to make time for the things that they love, to overcome their obstacles, and help them to have the confidence to create a willing, trusted, safe, and even more competitive, if you compete, extraordinary partnership with their horse. So I've trained and coached for many, many years. I've been an equestrian all of my life. So I understand that the struggles that we go through as equestrian women. So here's a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. This is going to be the worksheet that we'll be using, and there'll be a button below the video to download this sheet. So if you do not have time, or you don't have ink in your printer and you can't print it out right now, don't let this hold you back, okay? Just get a piece of paper. I'm going to tell you what to write in as we get along. So just make sure you have your worksheet or a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. So we totally don't want you to keep this training a secret. So feel free to pass it along at any time. We should have this available on our website. Anytime you have a friend that maybe needs some help getting some clarity, we actually really appreciate that. So you can have friends sign up at horsesu.com worksheet. So if they'll opt in there and enter their name and email address, that makes sure that they get the whole training and not just the worksheet. And also, I want you to know, if you feel stuck or something comes up for you that you're not sure what to do after the training, if we're not here together live, please go ahead and email me, jenny@horsesu.com, because I'm here to help. This is my passion. I love helping you guys. So please allow me to do that, and reach out to me if I can help you in any way. So let's get started with our one-page equestrian goal progress roadmap. So we're going to dive in to designing your picture perfect ride. So we're going to be starting over here on the right side of our worksheet. And you're going to fill in the blanks there to say picture perfect ride. So to map out our progress plan, first we have to know our destination. You can't create a roadmap and not know where you want to end up. So it's like Stephen Covey says in the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. You have to begin with the end in mind, and we're going to work backwards. So don't skip the step. Actually, don't skip any of these steps and don't try to move ahead, because as we go through this progress, you're going to have some aha moments. Like some of it, you may think you could probably figure out the worksheet without going through the training, but you're going to miss a lot of the aha moments that are going to help you to become more self-aware. So let's take a little journey starting out into the future together. So I want you to pretend, okay? So you're going to stick with me and just pretend. Don't jump ahead here. So pretend it's a beautiful, beautiful day. The sun is shining. There's a nice gentle breeze. The temperature is just right. Everything's perfect. Everything's green, not a cloud in the sky. And you're spending some time, unrushed time with your horse. If everything could go exactly as you would want it to, from the beginning of catching your horse to the end of riding your horse and putting them back away, what does this look like in your vision? And if you compete, you could also use this exercise, seeing yourself as having the perfect day from when you load your horse in the trailer to leave, to competing, to rinsing your horse off and putting him back away. How is your horse behaving? How do you feel? Do you feel strong, balanced, confident, and safe? How do you feel as a team? So describe this in as much depth as you can. Feel it and put yourself there in the moment. Now, here's what you are going to do. You're going to start coming up with all these reasons. This is what I want to do, but I can't. And I don't want you to think about that right now, okay? Don't think about how, or let yourself think that you can't do any of it for any reason. I want you to visualize this with no limitations and nothing holding you back. Just take this first step. Don't think about how. Just decide about where you want to go. Our truest life is when we are in dreams awake. So go ahead and pause the video. We'll wait for you. Fill this out and don't go crazy with it, because we're trying to make sure we're making this very actionable to get things done, right? But give yourself 2 or 3 minutes and fill out this section. Okay, when you're done with that, we're ready to get back to it. I love this quote. He says, "There's freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky, and you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?" I love this picture of Kristen riding her horse bareback and bridleless, and I always think about how that day must have been so awesome for her. You know, she probably took a lot of work to get to there, and the freedom that she must have felt, and the confidence, sense of control, and the partnership she must have felt. So we just planned out our picture perfect ride, right? And I ask you to feel it, put yourself there in the moment, see yourself doing it and how it feels. Not to let yourself think that you can't do any part of it for any reason, just to visualize this as though you have no limitations, nothing holding you back. So now what I'm going to ask you to do is to come back today, come back to the now. And when you look at that description of your picture perfect ride, what comes up for you? We're going to discover right here what's really holding you back. We're going to uncover sneaky limiting beliefs and fears that might be holding you back to get from where you are today to having that picture perfect ride. So we're going to jump over here to the left side of our page, and we're going to write where I am today and self-evaluation. And you could also write below that, if you'd like to, how confident do I feel today in my ability to achieve my picture perfect ride? Then in the box beneath that, you're going to write how things are today. Describe exactly how it is today if you went out to work with your horse or to ride your horse, or you can think about the last time that you went to ride. Think about how you feel. How is your horse behaving? Doubts, fears, things that you aren't sure of what to do. What do you need to learn about? And what are you saying to yourself? So I don't want you to think about how anything right now. I want you to think about what is it? What is happening right now? So what we're striving right here is to uncover this gap of the picture perfect ride to where we are today. And that's going to tell us what we need to work on. So before we pause that for this section, you can also do this next section at the same time. Jump over here to this next column And you're going to write the things that came up for you in these blocks over here. Okay, we're going to kind of name this stuff. And this is going to be called our obstacle wall. So this is going to represent the wall or the blocks that we're going to take down these blocks to build a firm foundation. That's going to build our pathway. So instead of a wall, we're going to have a path. So we're not trying to build the wall. It's already there, right? You guys, whether you're aware of it or not, there's already there something that's holding you back. We're just naming the obstacles or the bricks that make up the wall, and we're discovering and getting clear on what's holding you back, because you can't do anything about things that you aren't aware of. So I don't know hows, no thinking of hows right now. Don't think of how you'll try to get over, under, around them. Let's just name what they are. So here's some common bricks on the wall. So fear is a huge one. The truth lies in fear. Behind the fear is if it's a valid fear or a fearful fear. So a valid fear is a fear where you could really very realistically or have a high probability of getting physically hurt. So a fear of that for most of us mere mortals is just jumping on and riding an untrained horse, getting on that bucking bronco and taking off. And then a fearful anxiety fear is the anxiety of a fear or the idea that you maybe could get hurt, even though the reality and likelihood is very slim. I mean, these are horses. There's always a chance of us getting hurt. But so an example of that would be driving anywhere, that you could get in a car accident. Yes, of course you could get in a car accident, but the law of probabilities is that you're probably not going to, and the chances of it happening are very, very slim. And then there's the vulnerability fear. So that would be like a fear that I would have today coming here in front of you guys, like a fear of being judged, not being good enough, criticism from others, not fitting in or being included, a fear of looking stupid or failing. So you have to think about the truth behind what fears are. Another brick on the wall would be a lack of motivation, a lack of skills or things you don't know how to do, your horse's lack of training, physical limitations, and then this limiting beliefs that we're uncovering right now. So here's some examples of things that people said, and I apologize for my sloppy writing, but these are some things that we used this worksheet in a challenge a while back. Actually, this is from last year. And these were some things that people said that they felt, and the things that they were going through. And I'm sharing this here, not giving anyone's name away, but just so that you know, if you're feeling any of these things, that you're not alone. And there's great power in that. And sometimes, the voices in our head really can go crazy on us when we think that we're the only one that's going through this stuff. When we know we're not the only one, there's power in knowing that you can get through things too. So here's a couple rules for this exercise. Do not judge yourself when you're going through this. And if you're doing this in a group as an exercise, do not judge others in the group. And please, please, right now, do not try to give them answers of how to solve any of these problems, because that is going to ruin for them this aha moment and self-realization is that they're going through it and working through the exercise. So don't skip ahead, dig in really deep here. And I've got one more thing that I'm going to ask you not to do. Do not get caught up in the should be's. So the should be is a dragon that we have to slay over and over and over again. Gosh, I go through it all the time. Let go of I should be. I should be this, I should be that, I should be further along. I should have known. I should be successful in my business or riding right now. I should be cantering. That's a huge one. My horse should be better at that by now. I should be riding trails by myself. I should be stronger. Who said this? Who is this that says these things should be anything? You get this idea, right? So you've gone through things in your life that make you where you are right now. Your horse has gone through things of where he is right now. And you compare your progress with others and think you should be what others are doing, and it's just not true. As long as you're trying, as long as you're making progress, you should be right where you are right now. And that's a huge thing that holds us back as writers, is comparing ourselves to others. So as soon as you will realize this and be happy with where you are, you'll find the focus to get to where you want to go. And it's so, you know this from working with horses, you struggle and struggle and struggle, and then one day they just get it and you just get it, and it all seems easy. So you should be right where you are as long as you're trying to move forward. So go ahead and pause the video and fill out this little section. Again, don't take too long. Don't overthink this. You can always add to it later. Just write down a couple things and then come back in. Okay, you guys ready? Now let's talk about our progress path. Now we're going to use that wall to take the bricks to build the path to where we want to go. Not just to where we want to go, but where we need to go to live a life of no regrets. So here's where we are in our worksheet. You're going to write in the blanks to say steps, the path I will take. So it looks like this. Steps right here. On the lines below, I just want you to brainstorm and make a list of the things you can do to get to where you want to be. And this might be just as easy as I'm going to call Bleep and take a lesson. I am going to take a course on overcoming fear. I am going to take the Horses U Horsemanship Blueprint course or the Confident Equestrian course. You know, think about what can you do. I am going to, you know, make sure to ride 5 times a week, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, whatever it's going to be that you're going to, the steps that you're going to take. Now make this very actionable, okay? This is an action step that you're going to take. So this is going to make a path to go from where you are to where you want to be. So I believe that we lose hope and motivation in achieving our goals when we can't see how it's possible or it seems too hard. And so we stop because we think we can't get it done, right? So breaking it down into these simple steps makes it easy to see and visualize how you're going to do this. So I love this quote from Denny Emerson from his book, How Good Writers Get Good. How Good Writers Get Good. And this is a great book with lots of great aha moments in there if you ever get a chance to grab it. He said, I recalled an old joke about asking a woodcarver how he created such lifelike duck decoys. The reply, I took a piece of wood and whittled away everything that didn't look like a duck. So we can use this same principle in our lives and with our horses. And we talk about this a lot in our 10X Equestrian Growth Program. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to chip away at what doesn't fit in your vision of your picture perfect ride. And then you're going to add some things too. So here's just some couple of tools, some food for thought here. So think about like the foundation, the basics of what you would like a willing, safe horse to do. What does he need to learn? And then the fundamentals of your discipline, of your sport, or if you compete, what is the fundamentals of that? And even if you trail ride, what are the fundamentals? What does your horse need to do? And then mastery. What will you do to strive to master your event? And if you compete, what will you do to stand out from the competition? So here's some more ideas of some different things that you might, need to work on for yourself and for your horse. Here's some more ideas of some different basics, some fundamentals here. Here's an example of the sport that I compete in. I ride in the ranch riding at the quarter horse shows, and here's some examples of all the maneuvers that we have to do. And then I have to master that. Here's a kind of a layered representation. So just think that out and write out a couple things. Again, don't overthink it, and pause the tape and come right back here. Okay, now we're going to talk real quickly about habits. So on this is where we are in our worksheet. We're going to go right under the steps, the path I will take right here, new habits. So just real quickly, we're going to fill this in. And I'd like to call this equestrian success habits. It sounds so much more fun than habits. So our new code will be ESH. So what is a habit anyway? A habit is a settled, regular tendency or practice, especially one that's hard to give up. So see, even the definition of a habit is a little bit negative. So we need to try to think about this in a positive spin, right? So Jim Rohn tells us motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Our habits form and shape us one action at a time. Becoming aware of your habits can change your life in all areas. So as we go through, I'm just going to touch on these really, really fast. 8 habits, and I want you to see yourself as this person, this extraordinary equestrian that we're describing. So the first habit the successful extraordinary equestrian would be clarity. And we're talking a lot about that. That's what we're getting right now, right? They have a clear vision of what they want and why. They chip away at tasks like we were just talking about, break things down to make a clear path, break down that clear vision of what they want and who they want to be and make it actionable. And that's how they spend their days. The successful equestrian looks past at what things look like today to chip away at what can be. So this may be things what they look like today, but this is the vision. And when you have habit number 1 of clarity and habit number 2 of chipping away at your goals and dreams to give you a clear path to get to where you want to be, habit number 3 becomes so much easier because you can see how you're going to get there and you become 100% committed, feeling dedication and loyalty to a cause, wholeheartedly dedicated. It's so much easier to stay the course because you know clearly what you're going to do and how you're going to get there. So there's meaning in the mundane. There's meaning in the daily grind when you have clarity and a plan for where you're going. There's meaning in cleaning our stalls and scooping the poo and filling up the water buckets, bringing the horses in and out. There's meaning because there's a means to an end. And habit number 4 is the successful equestrian is consistent day in and day out. I believe this is the secret of top performers. And I've been in video for horse training videos for years and years and years, back in the VHS days. And in visiting so many different farms and different things, I found that the highest performers are consistent every day. They find ways to persevere no matter what's going on in their life. The other thing, that the successful equestrian has unstoppable courage. And that does not mean that there is not fear. That means that they muster up the courage to keep going no matter what. And they also have unbreakable confidence, which we define confidence as trust in yourself. And through doing all of this and staying the course, the successful equestrian becomes capable. And I also believe that every successful equestrian has a program. She has a plan that she is following. So pause the tape for just a second and fill out what are some of the new habits that you will be developing as you go through this. And again, don't overthink it. Don't make it, you can always change it, cross it out, and add things to it later. So just add something, are you going to become more consistent? So far, here's what we've done. We're chugging right along here. So we've developed our picture perfect ride. We've discovered what's holding us back. We've made a progress path. We've talked about developing our habits. Now let's talk for just a minute about who you will become. So right down here under habits, fill this out. This word here is going to be become. And this is such an important thing because I believe our horses form and shape us. So if you ever ask yourself, why am I doing this? And I feel like sometimes we feel the need to justify our goals to our family or, and I've had different times in my life where I even question myself, like, why is this important? it was always so important to me, and I was always the happiest when I was moving forward with my horses and working that way. But to figure out why it's important, but just think about what your horse leads you to become yourself. It helps you to be more self-confident. You learn the value of friendships, how to be a friend, how to be a real friend. You learn to persevere. You become more aware. You have greater courage, compassion, focus, self-esteem, determination, assertiveness. You learn the real power of partnership, sportsmanship, trust, consistency, respect, mental and physical strength. You gain greater self-worth, the ability to set and achieve goals. You learn to believe more in yourself, in your horse, and maybe even more in God, because there's such a spiritual aspect to working with our horses. And you learn the power of love. So go ahead and just pause for a second and fill in that little blank right there. So the secret to lasting change is the same secret as trading great horses: repetition and consistency. And the way to repeat the things we learn is to have it become a part of our daily schedule. Tony Robbins tells us it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, it's what we do consistently. So here's the truth that you need to know about goal planning. Now that you have a plan, you've got to do this next vital step. A little bit of tough love here. You've got to schedule it. And if it's not in your schedule, it's not going to happen. You're not living the life that you love. You're just dreaming about it, and you're just talking about it, and it's not really in your life. And it's a little bit tough, but you've got to think about that, right? So here's the biggest problems you're facing right now. It's your endless to-do list and the negative voices in your head that you can't get it all done. But that's not the end of the problem. It actually gets worse. Why? Because you're already so darn busy. You think you don't have the bandwidth to take on something else, which means you don't move forward and following your passion and working on becoming a better equestrian, which is actually what makes you happy and gives you the energy to get everything else done, right? And worst of all, most equestrian women can't get past that guilt of feeling like they're doing something just for them. But luckily for you, we have a solution to that problem. So if you already have a planner, I want you guys to take this worksheet, if you haven't done it already, and put it in your planner, schedule it. But if you're an equestrian woman who really needs to move forward with following her passion, but can't find the time or figure out how to get started, here's the solution that you've been looking for. It's right here in our Living Extraordinary Equestrian Planner. And I just want to share with you a little bit to see if this will help you, if it's something that you're interested in. The planner helps you to get clarity on what you want and how you're going to get it. It's going to help you make the most of your time. It's going to help you gain the confidence you need to move forward. It's going to kick procrastination and overwhelm to the curb, and so you can start to have more fun with your life. It reminds you of who you are really deep inside, and it keeps your dreams in front of you. I don't know if this has happened to you, but I have had it happen so many times that life bucks me off, and then when I finally get back to getting going to move forward with my dreams, I can't remember what I was doing. So you've got it all here in your planner, all mapped out, so you can always go back to it, and you're never behind. So it does so much more for you. Best of all, you're going to start seeing results as you start filling this in. You're going to feel empowered with the planner in about the same time as it takes to muck a stall. The price is only $55, so it costs less than a good riding lesson. And we've also got a lot of training that comes with it also. So again, if you're the equestrian woman who wants to enjoy her horse and make progress, you've got to understand this. A year from now, your future self is going to thank you for what you did today. Your passion was put in you for a reason, so don't put it off another day. Whether you have the planner or not, don't put this off one more day. Schedule it. The Live Extraordinary planner and support makes it easy to make progress. We've got to make time to be true to ourselves. So if you're interested in ordering this, on the order form, there's also going to be under at the bottom of the page, there's a little box that you can tick if you're interested in our 10X Equestrian Growth course. It's regularly $97, but you can pick it up on here for only $37. So that's a very awesome course that helps you get focused on your goals, break everything down, overcome limiting beliefs. It just takes you from A to Z in growing as an equestrian. I just want to encourage you guys, okay, that if you can just get a 0.5% better every day, just a little, it's just the little things that matter. In a year, you're going to do a 180 and turn things around. So use your goal sheet, schedule it, however you schedule it, whether you use our planner or use just a regular old calendar. Just make sure that you do it. It's important. So you can order your planner if you're interested at equestrianplanner.com. So go ahead and order that and take advantage of that huge savings on the goal setting course, the 10X Growth course. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It has been such an honor, and I hope this worksheet helps you. If you're interested at all in the planner, you can get a lot more details also over at the website. So head over to equestrianplanner.com. And again, if I can help you at all in any way, if you feel stuck, if you have any questions, please email me, Jenny, Jenny, @horses-u.com. God bless, and we will see you soon.